I said, hey, hey, welcome to the Man Cave Happy Hour. I said, hey, hey, welcome to the Man Cave Happy Hour. We're gonna drink a fine whiskey and smoke a really fine cigar.
It is time for Happy Hour. It is the Man Cave Happy Hour, whiskey, cigars, spirits, and the stories that go along with it. I'm Jamie Flanagan.
I'm August Gitschlag, sitting in for Mr. Fox. Couldn't make it this week.
Yeah, so we're August. We've been doing the Man Cave for about 3 years. And one of our sponsors, one of our benefactors, Tony at the Wine Garden in St. Clair Shores, one of the most generous human beings on the planet, and he invited us into the thing. And you've always been like, Jamie, Matt, you guys suck. You get to hang out with Tony. I've golfed with Tony, but I've never.
I've known Tony. I've golfed with Tony. I've had drinks outside with Tony.
Yeah.
I've hung out with Tony. I've never been in the magical man cave of
Bunker.
bourbon back here.
Yes.
And holy, wow,
yeah.
I mean, it's just, and to be around whiskey experts who are looking at these things going, holy wow. And I'm just like, I don't even know what that stuff is. I've never heard of that one.
It is, truly astounding. So Tony, the Wine Garden, if you're in Michigan, definitely a place to stop if you're looking for any sorts of. Tony's all about the mezcal right now.
Right, he's a little face.
But the bourbons is still your stop for bourbon in St. Clair Shores and Sterling Heights. So if you're in the Michigan area, but people listen wherever, however. But yeah, if you're Michigan bound, the Wine Garden is definitely a bourbon stop. And August, I'm glad you could come in, and we were like,
me too. Finally, hang out at this East Side gem that I've always shopped at, but never got in the back room of.
So, but we're Midwest boys, and we're sticking to the Midwest today, and we're crossing the border a little bit, and we're gonna dive into Ohio, and we're gonna dive into some bourbon from Watershed Distilleries.
Yeah, I'd never heard of them until you mentioned them. I just started doing my research. I was hoping you guys would bring some gin. It like you had some killer gins. Do you? I'd like to get a sniff of that. I'm a big botanicals guy.
We brought some gin for you.
I love my chartreuse and that real herbal botanical stuff.
Oh yeah.
So I was like, oh wow, we're gonna do a gin episode. And they're like, no, we're bringing bourbon too. I'm like, oh, we're bringing all this bourbon. Okay.
So
we got both for you. We got both.
So I'm here with Tony, and I just popped in. I'll pop in the Wine Garden just to say hi and spend money and try. Hope my wife doesn't see it on the charge. And Tony was dealing with a couple of people, and it was Chris with us here, and Chris is the brand rep from Watershed Distilleries, and Tony was tasting a couple of things. He's like, come on, and that's the thing with Tony. He's like, come on over, try this with us. And I'm like, oh, okay. And so we dive in, and I'm trying it with Chris. I'm like, this is fun. I go, we need to do this as an episode of the Man Cave, and finally got around to it. And Chris brought along with him Greg, Chris, welcome to the Man Cave.
Thanks. We're excited to be here.
And Greg is the owner, one of the founders, masterminds, evil genius behind it.
Founder. Mastermind, I don't know.
Your last
founder,
name is Watershed?
Maybe.
Greg Watershed?
Greg Watershed.
Yeah. Is it? All right. So, Greg, let's do this. Greg, tell me about your childhood.
My childhood. Wow. I grew up in central Ohio and always knew I wanted to be a distiller. Actually, I grew up having no idea I wanted to distill, and went to Ohio State. And I played volleyball at Ohio State, which not the common route, but we have a great team at Ohio State. We had a great team.
Look,
then.
I've watched Big Ten volleyball. Penn State's always had a good solid team. It's always made the national rankings. I'm a sports junkie. I'll sit through a Big Ten Network men's volleyball game every once in a while.
Yeah, no, it's really a good program there, and I ended up, and I studied hard because as volleyball players, there's not really future after college.
You went to Ohio State and you studied hard.
Right.
Come on. I went to Michigan State. I know.
Yeah. Well, I knew that it's not my volleyball skills that are going to take me anywhere.
You're not Karch Karai.
Not Karch. No. But what happened was, I got really lucky and I got signed a contract to play volleyball for a couple years in Switzerland after playing at Ohio State. So
they respect their volleyball players.
Yeah. Yes. And so I went over there as a pro, which sounds
Did you wear those really tight booty shorts? Is that was it? No? Different? All right, never mind. Sorry.
Different.
I got a visual going. All right, I'm sorry.
We wanted fans to come, so no, we didn't put those on.
Ticket sales.
But no, unlike a pro athlete here. It was nothing fancy or flashy, but it was fun. I came from making no money in college to making no money playing volleyball over there. But
that's college.
Yeah, I was over there. They gave me a car. They gave me some food, and so I felt like a king. It was great. And I feel like the best part was I lived right across the street from a little bar. And the guy who owned the bar was the president of the fan club. Ah. And so every time I walked in, it was like, hey, the Americans here, the pro for America. And so it was kind of fun. But it was a cool experience. And then moved back and got a job and then I grew up. That was my child. That was you said childhood.
That's it.
I would say adulting, but you're making booze for a living. So
I just wanted to get to the booty shorts. I just needed to get you to the booty shorts.
Right.
That's all. That's all we need. So, what led you to spirits and distilling?
So, growing up, my dad had a small business, and so I was always around small business, and I was fascinated by it. And I did everything from driving the forklift to pulling orders to making deliveries to working. Filing stuff in the front room or stuffing envelopes, pretty much anything. It's small business, so the whole family's all in on it. And so when I got back to after playing volleyball and got my real job, I was working I found myself working in big business. I actually worked for Pfizer when I started Watershed. So I was
company.
Yeah. My boss lived here close to Kalamazoo, and but I was on the animal health side, and I love small business and wanted to get involved. And really, I started looking at this local movement that was just kind of getting going. And where I lived in Switzerland, they did everything locally. It was fascinating. Like one day, my wife and I, we got in a car and we were about 20 minutes from Germany. We drive over to Germany, and in Switzerland, if you don't know, it's really expensive. Everything's expensive. And so we drive to Germany, and we found a grocery store over there, and everything was about a third the price. And so we loaded up the car, loaded it, and we go back across the border. Well, we learned a few things this day.
Smuggling food across the border.
Yeah. One, you don't want to come across the border with just a packed car of food. Somehow we played the dumb American card, and they let us in the country.
That ain't that hard.
Yeah. Clearly, we were playing the part. And so they're like, you can't do this again. You're in the system. Don't come back with it again. We'll let you through this time. So we went in. And that night, I'm like telling my Swiss buddies, I'm like, you guys know how cheap groceries are in Germany? Like, we went over today and we loaded up. And they're looking at me like I'm an alien. And I'm like, what? And they said, well, Rolf Inallen, his family grows the egg. They sell all the eggs to the local grocery store, and this family does the soda, and they make the beer, and his family does the furniture, and
just put this whole community up.
Yeah, I know. I was like, oh god,
you opened up Walmart in Switzerland.
I clearly
didn't you?
suck. Walmart. I went to the German Walmart.
Did they yell at you in French or German? Which did they yell at you in?
I was a German speaker. Right? So anyway, but no, it was fascinating. This little town, they did everything local.
Yeah,
and so when I was, coming up with this idea, I knew I wanted to be involved in the community, and so I called my future business partner as I'm on my way to a pig farm. I was in the pig industry, and I said, "Hey, what if we made gin? What if we made bourbon right here in Columbus?" And because there was a distillery there in that little town, and it kind of sparked this, and he was pretty much like, "That's illegal."
Then I'd say, "You've been drinking."
Yeah. and so but I said, let's just live like it is legal, and let's look into it. And, next thing you know, we started writing a business plan.
Okay.
Two guys with no money and didn't know how to distill. But
so Watershed was that Watershed Distillery? Was that the advent of that?
Yeah. Well, I mean, it took a while. Naming something's hard.
Sure.
That was the start of it, and I think at that time we called it Rocky Fork Distillery, and at one point maybe Layman Distillery. I don't know. It had a
chewing on some stuff.
It had a whole bunch of iterations, but it was the future Watershed Distillery.
All right. So when was that? When was that precipice for it?
So that was in 2009, and one thing that we were good at working quickly. And by 2010, we sold our first bottles. December 2010, we sold our first bottles.
So how much trouble did you have with the laws in Ohio? I remember everything in Michigan being a trouble. Like
it was hard.
Brewers wanted to distill and getting the licenses to do it and all that and how you could sell and what you could sell. It was unprecedented in a lot of communities, a lot of states, to start distilling. Everyone was used to craft beer. They were opening up all their zoning, opening up all their planning. That's municipal official guy, opening that up for breweries left and right, but they were still a little nervous about distilleries.
Yeah, and no one really knew. Like, all right, and that's how we sold a lot. We're like, hey, do you like
blow up on us? Is it? You're not gonna.
Yeah, you're gonna explode like a meth lab.
Be a big kiln explosion. Took out Fawn Leibowitz. Sorry, never mind. Too soon.
I was gonna insert an Ohio meth lab exploding joke, but you went that way. So anyway, I apologize. I take it back.
No, really. Like people understood beer, but not spirits. And when we were starting, we were asking around the industry on a national level, and everyone was like, "Get out of Ohio! Like go to Oregon, go to Colorado." But we were kind of like, "Well, no, we're both
already opened up there.
Well, we hadn't even opened yet, but we were both like, "Well,
I got a mortgage here. What are you
this
talking
is
about?
my community. Like this is where I live."
That's the point. The whole point was to be in this town. Yeah,
right. I was like, no, we want to bring this to Ohio. And they're like, good luck. And there were some big barriers. One that I always kind of reference is, we raised all the money and we bought the still and we signed the lease and we started making product. And our investors knew this. We were up front with them ahead of time, like, hey, this is going to happen. We had to make it, and then we went, and this was one of the products. We took our 4PL gin and our vodka. We had to sit down with the state of Ohio. And it was a table. It was a little bit longer than this one. This goes a ways.
Yeah.
And there were 3 people in the room, and we walk in with our gin and our vodka and set them down on the table. And they tasted it right there in that meeting and said, yes, we'll list it in the state, or no, we won't list it in the state.
That's how it goes?
That's how it went down. It's changed.
That's some bullshit.
It is changed. It's changed.
You can swear on this podcast. That is insane.
It was insanely high pressure. Right. And so, like, I remember being so nervous walking because we were all in at this point. Like, we had the still. We were like, we had spent the investors' money. We couldn't give it back. And luckily, they said yes. But I remember
there were T-shirts involved.
Right.
We're in.
On a printer. It's fine.
I remember the lady in charge saying, like, you know what? We like you guys. We like the juice. We'll let you in. We'll give you 22 stores. Ohio has 470. And they said 22. But I remember thinking, like, hell yeah, we're in.
22 stores.
Yeah.
It's like I didn't get enough bottles for 22 stores.
And my business partner's he's sitting on my right, and he's like, all right, so here's our marketing plan that we want to talk through further. And I'm like kicking him. I'm like, Dave. Yeah. They said yes, let's go.
Yeah, exactly.
We're out. We're done.
We're rolling.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that was a big barrier, and there were other stuff. There's other stuff along the way.
So is that where you started with the 4PL gin?
The 4PL and the vodka. We were making bourbon, but it was sitting in barrels.
It's got to sit.
Yeah.
So,
but you got to get your product out there to pay for the lease on letting those barrels sit for a while.
Yeah, the investors wanted money back. They didn't want to keep funding what we were doing.
Greed, corporate greed,
crazy talk.
The man. Yeah.
But when I did my research, when he invited me, I'm like, all right, Watershed, and I saw, like, it even says in the bottle, like, this is the Watershed moment was when this gin was released. And I have a soft spot. I'm not a big gin drinker as like the beef eaters and sodas, but I love chartreuse.
Oh yeah.
And so when and gin is a much more economical, botanical, herbal. Right. You can get some really good gins. And Two James here at Detroit Distillery really impressed me with theirs. And so I was like, oh, cool. We have a small town, not small town, big town.
Yeah.
Whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
A local guy. A local distillery.
Yeah. Cheering for somebody local.
We're going to get on this. And Jimmy's like, they got bourbon too. I'm like, okay. All right. So, I'm going to try this.
Yeah, I think that you probably noticed the grapefruit orange peel popping off the front on the nose and real fresh.
And it wasn't like I was chewing on a pine cone, which is what everyone's
always afraid of. It was piney. Yeah, it was more fruity than piney when I smelled it.
The juniper heavy stuff. And so this is quite delicious. I don't even know if I would want to mix it.
Right.
It's just really nice. I mean, you put it with soda, not with tonic, though, ever.
No, I think it plays really nice with soda, plays really nice on its own. But with the citrus, it plays, you think about craft, like the classic cocktails. Mm-hmm. So many classics have a citrus touch to them.
Right.
And so it really plays nicely.
Well, that's the old Prohibition thing. You had to put all that citrus in it to get rid of the awful flavor, right? You had to sugar it and I'm suddenly Nick or something.
That bathtub ring out of it, yeah.
Right.
I noticed it with chartreuse and make last words. So.
Yeah, I was going to ask you your last
words.
Yeah.
Oh, is there a bottle of chartreuse back here?
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
Tony's got everything else back here at the wine garden.
Everything else back here.
Unbelievable.
There's boxes of stuff
Maraschino?
down there that haven't
Chartreuse?
been tapped into yet.
Luxardo, chartreuse, gin, equal parts, and then a little bit of lime or
Yeah,
lemon.
yeah.
It's fantastic.
It is. If you like chartreuse,
It's
you
All
dig
right,
that.
so the
cocktail.
other gin you brought,
Yeah.
This one's awesome.
that's a cloudy gin, and I like that.
Guild
I like
gin.
This one has some chamomile flavor to it. So
Really?
after it comes off the still, we soak actual chamomile flower in it and then strain it out, and it's wild. It really picks up a lot of that chamomile flavor.
that. Double gold in 2018, huh?
That was a proud moment.
Wow. So this is what's paying for all the rent now, right?
Yeah, yes.
This is the.
It's funny, I was anti-competition, and I was like, you know what, we're gonna make stuff that we like, and if people like it, great. But we ended up. Someone convinced us to send this into San Francisco World Spirits Competition. They were like, "It's amazing, you got to send it." So finally, I said, "We'll send it." And I remember being a little bit upset with this person, thinking like, all right, well, I'll show you that you can send it in, and even if it's good gin, they won't recognize it.
Yeah, right. Well,
And
because
it
you're proud of your product, right?
Right.
You got
And it
your-
came
yeah.
back double gold, and I was like, you got to be kidding me. Like,
my
that's
God.
amazing.
This is a unique smell, a unique aroma. Let's not smell. Let's
And
call it
this is-
aroma.
This is the last 15 years that you could sell a gin that wasn't crystal ass clear.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah.
I mean, people are starting
Right.
to appreciate the craft.
They want something
distilling.
different. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. To get it, that's different than the gin and juice you drank in high school and
Right.
stuff. Right.
Right.
This isn't for
Right.
that.
Right.
This isn't for that.
No, it's not. But it's funny, like, the production team used to complain about making this because you would soak the chamomile flower in it. The chamomile flower would get jammed in the filter when you're filtering it, and they used to complain. And then when it won double gold, now it's like we're making the good stuff. Like, it's a process.
gotta
like we
shut
know
it
it.
down.
We know it.
We're
Like,
making the good stuff
yeah.
today.
So it's
Turn your ringers off.
right.
Sorry.
Which is great. I
Yeah.
love that there's that pride that came with that, which is very cool.
So, Chris, we're going to dive into this. What makes you want to work with Greg? Because you got quite an experience with spirits.
Well, we pay him.
So
we
what-
pay him.
Actually, yeah.
What brought you to Watershed? Get right up on the mic. What brought you to
I
Watershed?
retired from beer, so I actually did some
Okay,
beer, selling craft beer.
alcohol.
Yeah.
You have experience with alcohol. What brought you? What makes you want to work with Greg?
Jumping up to the big leagues.
All right.
Spirits is where you want to be, I think, in this industry, and an opportunity to sell to the entire state. So now I can have Greg fund my vacationing up north while I'm selling bottles of booze. So it's not so bad.
Is that why you're up there every weekend?
Yeah.
What's the
Take him to At least take him to Marquette. Marquette's amazing. You got to get him up to Marquette.
Well, we were
I
on
mean.
Drummond 2 weeks ago.
Oh,
So
wow.
that was fun, yeah.
Well, that's a whole different world. You selling a lot of booze on Drummond Island?
Starting to. So should be pretty cool. They
Okay.
drink a lot of it there, at least.
Okay, good.
I do get pine in the flavor though. I
Yeah,
get pine
yeah.
I get the pine. The pine is in the flavor, on the edge of my mouth. But then the other florals are filling the rest of my mouth with this. What are you getting on? Oh, you have you gone yet?
Yeah, I had one sip,
All right.
and I'm just like
Yeah.
smelling it, and
But the flavor,
it
the
is-
aroma
It is night and day from
Yeah.
Right,
the
right. With the
peel.
chamomile on the
chamomile
nose,
is
it's just right
absolutely
on
the
the
whole
nose.
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
There's a rose petal in that, too.
Okay.
Yeah, well, that's the chamomile. Yeah,
I'll buy it.
That's
I'll
the
buy it.
flower.
I'll buy it.
Yeah.
Oh, no, actually, roses.
There's
as well,
actually
too.
some rose petal in there.
Oh,
Yeah,
actually in there.
Yeah.
Well, there you go.
And there's a little bit of nutmeg, and then there is some citrus, and then obviously the juniper berry is in there as well. So there's definitely some of the pine notes should come through.
So when we talk about bourbon, we talk about spice and spicy. But I do. It's not spicy, but I'm aware of the spices in this that you mentioned.
More of a floral experience than
Yes,
spice.
yes, yes.
As
But they're
gins go, it's
in
soft.
there.
I think it's soft.
I agree. It's not,
Yes.
It's not. It's
Yes,
not.
yes.
What do they call it? Hot.
Right.
You know.
I think it's full. The flavor is full. A lot of gins are pretty full, but this is very.
Right.
Oh, good gin.
It's hitting.
like I said,
hitting a
I
lot of
wanted
parts of my mouth
fully-
with this.
Full botanically type gin.
It's interesting you use full because I always tell people, especially with 4PO, and this is the base gin that we really started with and got going with. When you make gin, let's say you have 100 gallons of it and you're making it. There's nothing that says you put a cup of botanicals in or 100 cups of botanicals.
Right.
And we err on the side of really loading it up with botanicals. And so when you pop the cork on this, it fills the air. That aroma fills the air. There's a ton of flavor in these bottles. And so it really, and we did that because we think it's amazing flavor and we didn't want to back down. Some of the gins today, the modern American ones, are really light with the flavor.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we're going to transition to brown, I see. So I got to go wash out my.
Well, there's fresh glasses. There's
Oh.
4 fresh glasses.
Okay.
I was
Tony's
prepped.
place. I can just throw this one like we're a break or something,
that's
right?
it. Whoa, smash. Yeah, we don't want to smash them, but
I also
nice.
want to break up the rhythm. This excellent.
So, but in your
going.
in the brown liquids, because when we did the tasting, you had a pre-made cocktail.
I do.
And then there were a couple of variations on the bourbon. So what do we got, and what are we going to try, and what order do you think we should do it in? I'm going to leave it to
I like to do this one last because it's got a lot of the sweetness in it and some of the cinnamon. But also, I have to thank you. Tony wasn't totally sold on this. You helped me sell him on it.
My!
So
okay.
you helped me get this SKU in, and we're doing my job for me. So thank you very much for that.
Hey, nice. I'm a sucker for an old fashioned, though.
Me too. I love a good old fashioned.
This is a fantastic recipe in the bottle. My direct boss, Grant, actually came up with the recipe. So fresh cherry juice, cinnamon, and a little bit of bitters. But we will go to that one last.
Okay.
I'll have Greg talk about the new bourbon blend that we have.
Yeah, so this is a fun one. We started in this industry doing everything the hard way, and we made a little bit of bourbon and put it in barrels. And as we grew, we slowly made a little bit more bourbon and got a little bigger. But you think about it, what you're making today, you're selling 4 years from now. And so last year, we took a big step, and here I'll talk about the bottled and bond also.
Yeah, it's fun to sell them as a pair.
We took a big step, and we took our bourbon, which was 90 proof, and it was over 4 years at this point, and we moved it into a bottled and bond, 100 proof, 4-year-old. Which
Okay, I know what that means.
Yeah.
Jamie knows what that means. It blows people's minds when I explain to them what bottled and bond means.
Yeah, bottled and bond is special. If you don't,
It's a special thing, and you'll see it on a bottle, and people will walk past it,
Right.
and not understand it. Like I think probably Old Forester's probably the one they see the most. That's mass produced.
Yeah.
and they're like, I don't know. It just means it's high. It means it's a high ABV or something.
Right.
But what is it? There's an actual
so
term
bottled
about
and
this.
bond. It's basically saying it's a way to ensure this bourbon was fermented, mashed, fermented, aged, bottled, and really everything from distillation to aging to bottling in one distillery. And so this bottle came from, everything in this bottle came from us, and it's bottled at 100 proof. When it was aged, it had to be in a bonded warehouse.
Meaning they literally the feds lock the door.
Well, they don't come in and lock the door, but we have
got a badge.
We have
that's what
like
I mean.
they can come in and inspect it anytime.
Figuratively,
They
it's
can
under federal
Respect.
and that goes back to Prohibition when people were jacking up liquor all the time.
Yeah. So we have, they have all the keys counted. They know where the keys are. They know what the premises is. They know all the juice that's in there. It's very locked down. And so this bottled and bond is pretty special. And as a craft distiller, and it has to be 4 years old. So as a craft distiller, it takes a while to get really.
Well, I
good
thought it had to be
juice.
even older. So
That's four. That's four is the age limit.
Mm-hmm.
And so really our bourbon, I always say, graduated to bottled and bond, which was really special. And then what we did, we came out with this. We got really excited what people were doing, blending bourbons.
Yeah.
And so we took some of 3 different bourbons to make this product, our what we call our everyday bourbon, which is delicious. And it is some of our juice, our regular bourbon that goes into bottled and bond. It is we have an apple brandy finished bourbon that we take 4-year-old and we put it in apple brandy barrels. When it comes out, it's 6 years old.
Okay.
So some of that is in here as well.
Did bring a little bit of brandy as
yeah.
well.
Things
are emerging. Things are emerging.
There's a whole bag of tricks over here. So
there is.
So there's some 6-year in here. There's some of our 4-year, and then we do source some product from a great source of whiskey to mix the third bourbon in here. And so we had fun going and picking out whiskey and getting some different bourbons involved and came up with that blend, and we really think it's special.
I am not at all afraid of blended whiskeys, especially bourbons. I think that it's sort of people get a little snobby about it.
Right.
Look at the wall behind us. Right.
So,
And the
sure,
stuff that
yeah.
we're all looking at.
Yeah.
I think for your everyday bourbon drinker, something like this is exactly what they want. It's like not the over the top, but you can still get it, and it's the same. Now, how do you keep the consistency?
So what I love.
Are you a chemist?
I'm not a
Chemistry guy?
I'm
Mad
not
scientist.
a guy. I learned by hard knocks.
No.
But I'll tell you what, people don't. When people taste blended bourbon, they love it. Like, so you get
do.
this opportunity.
They do. I've never
You
been
get this
disappointed.
Like,
Yeah.
when people hear blended, they're like, oh, blended. But no, you get this opportunity to create a consistent flavor. And then you get, if you're layering flavors together, so we've been doing this a long time. I'm 12 years in from selling our first bottle. And so we've gotten
You look a lot
really
older than
good.
that.
Yeah, so there's a lot of gray hair in this industry. And so you get really good at understanding, like, when you layer these flavors together, it creates more complexity. It's a bigger finish. Thank you. So it really does lend itself to making a great drinkable spirit when you're doing this, and something that people are going to be like, that's amazing. It over-delivers. So we were really excited to bring this to market.
Well, we're excited to
this
try
is-
it, right, Jamie?
Yeah.
Cheers.
Ooh, I'm smelling the apple in there. I always end up sniffing my microphone. Sniff the drink, sniff the
Yeah,
microphone.
It's like,
One
it's
of
like
the two.
that awkward silence on
It's
a
always
podcast.
it is. It's a drinky time is what it is.
I forgot we were on a podcast for a second. I was just like into the.
I know, right?
That's the point.
So that is
Success.
a 10 of 10 for drinkability.
Yeah, it's super
It's so-
approachable.
so
it's
good.
great for making cocktails. It's reasonably
Great finish
priced.
on the end.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
But
it's
you're
great in
drinking
the back.
bourbon. You're drinking whiskey. I mean, you're drinking whiskey.
Oh, yeah.
No, it's
you're
not too
you're
hot,
feeling the
it's
whiskey.
not too spicy. It's not too. The ABV isn't burning down. That's
But there's a little bit of heat, and
the
there's
apple
a
is coming out now. It took a minute, but now I get on the front of my tongue is definitely feeling the apple.
Yeah, there's definitely some dark fruit on the end and that flavor.
Yeah. Wow.
Clocking in at 90 proof. You wouldn't think it.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Where's my other Verners? I don't know.
I know.
Get another potato chip.
Yeah.
That's it. Just clear it out. Yeah, I don't know if all the chips are going to help. That's gorgeous.
really good.
Yep.
We'll have to sneak that bottle into his collection. Is that what
You know
whatever
what,
we
you-
taste, we donate? Is that the?
Well, you know what? They would appreciate. I think that's
Yeah,
kind of a
we'll-
thing, and it will get tried. People go, "What? Really?"
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
they'll start.
Yeah.
And this is a room, obviously, as you can tell, that people just drink cayenne whiskey.
Yeah, Oh, totally. It's good company to be in.
Yes, it is a good.
Yeah,
It's
bunch
a
of
good.
schleps
bottles
over here,
aside on
yeah.
top and just put it in
I
the.
think so.
I don't even know what that big metal thing is.
I
up
don't
there.
either.
Yeah.
I don't even know if I want to know.
That'd be
It's
a
Jim Beam,
cognac?
actually.
Yeah,
It's Jim Beam. It's Jim Beam.
It's Jim
It's
Beam.
Jim
Is it
Beam.
just Jim Beam
That
and
crazy,
a cheesy?
that crazy, colorful one? Yeah.
Oh, it does say Beam on it. I
It's,
see
it
yeah.
is Jim
Yeah.
Beam. Jim Beam did in the
Jim Beam
60s
Black. It's
and
the-
the 70s. They did like just amazing decanters. That car
Oh,
up
I
there,
have-
that
I have
Model
the,
T up at the very tip top is
Oh,
a
yeah, it
Jim
says
Beam
Beam.
decanter.
I have
It's a
Jim Beam,
decanter. It is a
Democratic
decanter, yeah.
National Convention Jim Beam, or actually both the Republican and the Democrat ones.
I got the elephant holding the
The
globe.
I have them from
Yeah,
from
yeah.
like the Carter years, like 80,
Yeah,
something
yeah.
like that. I have those old decanters. They still had liquid in them, and I gifted them to someone,
Oh.
and then he quit drinking a year later. So I have no idea where they are. But, anyway, we're
Ooh, the second sip on this, the apple jumps out for me on the second sip on this.
but it's
the
not
apple.
an apple dominated spirit.
No. But I didn't. You were like,
it's
oh, I get
lovely.
the apple, and I wasn't
Like I
getting
said,
it
I'm a
until
fan
my
of
second
a
sip.
blended, and I started with the Irish blended. We mentioned this off the air about how I appreciated a blended Irish more than the regular. And I'm like, I can't drink the regular stuff anymore because the blended stuff. I mean, there's something to be said for your single barrels, your one-offs. I mean,
Right,
some of it's
right.
marketing, some of it is just a different. You want a different bit of heat or a different bit of spice, different flavor.
And with the
barrel
single barrel
pick stuff is a thing.
Right,
It's a real
right.
thing right now.
Because you get so wild,
Brought one of
unique
those too
flavors.
to share with you. So
Well, the barrel pick stuff, I feel like I worry about places like you because these barrel picks are taking up shelf space, right? Right, and you only have so much room on the shelf, and we've got this version, and then this version, and then this version, and then this version.
Well, because Augie bartended too, so when he's talking shelf space, he's like
Yeah,
thinking
oh,
about
yeah,
behind him
yeah.
at the
Like,
bar.
literally-
what am I spilling
Yeah,
today?
they already did that shit with the vodkas with 1,700
God.
flavors, and they tried to do it with rums, and it didn't quite fly.
Yeah.
But now everything's just flavored up,
Right,
flavored up.
right.
This is not flavored up; it's just notes. These are
This
notes that we're
is
noticing.
on the second, third sip, and not buttery, but creamy. It's got almost like your caramel macchiato, because there's that bourbon, you get that caramel thing in it. That milky, creamy. It's almost like a caramel macchiato with bourbon in it, and you're my new best friend.
You're already married, Jamie.
I said best friend.
I mean, I'm an officiant and all, but
So yeah, it's creamy. Is it? Yeah, it's. I like that. That finish on it. It's hanging around.
Very good.
Yeah.
No, I'm a fan of the blend. I dig it.
Thank you. Thanks.
All
I
right.
really like that one too. That was a fun one to make.
And how do you keep it consistent?
You know what? The recipe changes a little bit each time as far as how much of each one because we're going for flavor and we're trying to get the flavor that we want.
Are you the professional taster? Are you the last
Who's
guy who
the
does that little
stopgate?
test tube of bourbon that makes sure? Yes, bottle it. Boom.
You know, like I am involved in it, but it's committee. Like, you know, it's funny because sometimes you guys taste. Sometimes I feel like I'm so dialed in, and then I'll have days where I'm like, gosh, I can't. My tongue or my nose or something's not working quite right. Something that I loved yesterday just isn't hitting. Yeah. So it's good to have committee.
Yeah, I was fortunate enough once to be in the room. A friend of ours had a vodka company that didn't quite work out, but we're going to launch this flavor, and here's this big box of test tubes. And which one do you think tastes the most like X?
Oh.
And I'm like,
All right.
oh boy! But there's
Here we go.
there's like 12 of each, and I got one of the 12.
Oh,
I
yeah.
was there.
Yeah.
And they're like, you bartend, which one tastes like this? And I'm like, I don't know. And I'm just doing test tubes of stuff. But the last one, I'm like, they're all delicious. You know?
Yeah.
So it's got to be a challenge to keep that consistent. But it's one thing they say about Budweiser. You know,
Yeah.
it might be mass produced, but goddamn, it tastes the same in every
is.
every
Yeah.
shitty
So-
bar, or every great bar.
Right,
you could be you could be paying $12 for that at a cabaret or $3 somewhere.
Right,
It's
right.
the same taste everywhere you go. And
Totally.
there's a skill and a talent and
Right.
and something to that. You know,
No, there totally is, and that's where, like, you know, when people would say I like craft beer because it's higher quality, I would say, well, it's more unique flavors.
it's flavors.
but the quality is there. And
yeah, you're
like-
drinking craft beer and craft
right.
craft
Right.
liquors and
Yeah.
still for the flavors.
Right,
You're not
right.
doing it for the quality. I mean,
right,
it's all
because the big guy has no quality. That's
and
how
you
they
get the
got
same damn hangover from a Sierra Nevada that you do from maybe not from a Natty Light. But,
Yeah.
you know,
yeah. from a couple 3 natty lights, right?
yes.
Right.
But you know what I mean. I mean,
Right.
it's still alcohol's alcohol.
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
all
no,
about the
that's right.
flavors and what
That's
you
right.
want to enjoy. So
That's
I
What flavors
appreciate
are
a
we going to get
consistent
out of
flavor.
the bottled and bond? Is that where we want to go next?
That tastes like vanilla and buttercream.
Is that where we wanna
all
go
the
next?
creaminess that you got out of this just super intensified.
Okay.
Yeah, let's go bottled
Big
and
time.
bond
Yeah,
next.
That's the next one, and then we'll go to the high proof stuff while we still have a little
Bottled
bit
and
left.
Bond is not the high proof stuff.
No, we go a little higher
It's
than
100
that.
proof, yeah. So this we make with 10 barrels at a time. I go through and taste them with our head distiller, and we pick out, it's a 10-barrel batch, and we'll taste a whole bunch of barrels and pick our favorites and then blend it together, and the result is, I think, delicious.
So
All right.
during my interview process, it took about, 3 months to onboard me, I think correctly, trying to make a smooth transition for the market. And I personally drank 9 bottles of this.
Oh.
So
Well, you're still
this
with
is
us.
my favorite
You're
stuff.
still with us,
So-
and that is
Thank you, sir. We have
testament to
another.
the quality. You're talking about quality.
Yeah.
He's still alive.
That was a rough week.
I was a huge fan, and
You're also a big milk thistle guy.
yeah.
Yeah,
This one?
yeah. Thanks.
All right, so decided bourbon aroma.
That's much more bourbon. Yeah, that's the bourbon.
That's
heat.
that's the bourbon face on it for sure.
Yeah.
And these are 4 years, or is it
4
at
years.
least
4 years.
4
At
years?
least 4.
Yeah.
At
Yeah.
least 4.
Yeah, that's the bottled and bond throat feel that you get.
That's
The
a bourbon.
Kentucky
That's
hug.
Yeah, Kentucky.
Yeah.
I've never heard that phrase before, but that
I learned that during training.
you trained him well. In Kentucky. Oh, well, this is a Columbus hug then, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It is. I love how this one turned out. This is.
Yeah.
So where are your so what are your what's the the mash bills on this, right? So this is it.
So
This
is
those were blends,
a
but
high
this
rye
is
mash bill.
high
so corn, rye, and malted barley.
so at least 51% corn because
Yeah.
it's
We're
got
at,
bourbon on the label.
70%
And then-
corn,
right? Yeah.
22% rye, and
22%.
8% on the malted barley.
Okay, and where are they sourced from? Do you
grains?
try to get Ohio stuff,
Switzerland?
or you try to cross the border to Germany
come
and
by
get
boat.
your Walmart Germany?
They're taken by horse to the coast and then by boat and then no. So We at different years we've gotten from different corn sources.
Okay.
Right now we're getting it from a mill in Indiana, which is does a phenomenal job for us. And then the barley and the rye comes from the north central United States. So think Wisconsin, Minnesota area. That's where it's all grown. And it comes down.
It's
to
still
us.
local for us, right?
Do you grind it?
It's all
Do you
Great Lakes
grind it?
region.
Does it come ground?
So we had a mill on site, and we've since taken it out. So when we started, we got all flour, and then we got to the point where we were big enough, and we put a mill in. Mills are really dangerous, and it was right next to the still, and our insurance company.
That
and
thing's sparking.
Yeah,
Hey,
so like there was a whole.
You got flames. You got alcohol. What are you doing?
Sometimes it's just more economical to have
And-
someone else.
And so we
boom,
started
and
looking
deliver
at
it
it.
in a bag.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so now we just get pre-ground.
Okay.
Which works really well. It's a little bit cleaner. It's definitely safer. And
No, there's no fingernails in it.
there's no fiction.
Yeah.
Or fingers.
No
Right,
hands
right,
and fingernails and yeah.
Hey,
At least
lefty.
as far as you know.
Yeah.
Hey, lefty.
None
It's
of
your
our
turn to
fingernails.
grind again.
Yes.
I don't know. It hurts, Buttermaker. Don't make me lean into it.
I don't know why you look to me there. It's after the joke about losing fingers in the grinder, but
I know. No fingers in the bourbon.
No
fingers in the
No
bourbon.
fingers in the bourbon.
Just 3 fingers of
Three finger pour. Yeah, that's about it.
Sorry, I still haven't learned how to pour whiskey yet. I'm used to beer, where it's just like half the can, and we'll figure it out later.
Well, I mean, there's an array. I'm glad I've been pumping the brakes because there's an array of bottles on the table.
I don't know how far we're going here.
Hit,
And
it's
I'm just-
okay.
Yeah.
I get this way. My one of my best friends in the world is Brett Coonan from Coonan's Brewing. I don't know if you know. So I get to travel around and do a lot of beer.
Those guys are a lot of fun.
man.
So it's like,
What?
oh boy.
So you get
boy.
to come do whiskey tasting. You go do beer tasting. Like I like this.
You should see how hot my girlfriend is. I have a blessed life. And I'm a public official with a government pension.
Right.
Damn.
He's like trifecta.
I like this
there.
guy.
It is. He's got it down.
And I feather bowl.
I thought I was
foal,
doing
and do
okay,
all
but
kinds of
no.
weird stuff, you know. Well, I wasn't no professional volleyball player in Switzerland, but
That was a long time ago.
cheers to that, though.
Yeah.
And I like this. I like the bourbon there.
Thanks.
So this is the bottle. So that was coming in, 100 proof, bottled and bond. So you have one that's a step up from that, right? So is this the mainstay? Which
Yeah.
one is it? So this is your mainstay in the bottled and bond.
This is
100
the
proof?
year-round premium.
Right.
And then this is one of the single barrels. Oh, sorry, this one right here.
Yeah.
That we released last year, actually.
Okay.
So every once in a while we do a very few number of single barrels.
Oh, that's
It's
if you look at the color on
extremely
that,
limited.
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's like it's a step or two darker
Yeah,
for sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Ooh. Welcome to the dark side.
Well, you think about the single barrel because this is barrel proof.
Right.
It wasn't cut with water, so that was all that was in the barrel. It's much higher proof. It's going to be the stuff.
Once in my life, I did the whole little
whiskey
dabber
thief.
out of
Yeah.
the thief.
Yeah.
Out of and was like, I if I
Wait! You made a motion like you drank it out of the thief. Did you put it in a cup or
Nope.
did you?
Nope.
You
And had I put that on my fingertips, I feel like I could have robbed a bank. And
it was me. That's high
Left
proof.
no fingerprints.
It was
Yeah,
like I
yeah.
had permanent long-term COVID with my taste buds. I mean, I couldn't taste anything.
Yeah.
It was it was
protested.
hot.
Yeah.
Hot.
So your single barrel is what you proof it however it comes out of the barrel.
Yeah, it just comes. We don't adjust the proof. We take it out of the barrel. We filter it and bottle it.
Okay. And then we'll talk about distribution in a minute. So all right. So this is the single barrel. This one's coming in 64.9.
Yeah.
All right. Hot. About 4 years again. Mm-hmm. All right.
What's that math? 128.9. That's a lot of action.
It's my impression
So what-
that there would be no
does
math.
every state has different limits, right? Where you can distribute like how high the ABV
how high-
can
yeah,
be.
I think that's right. I
To
do
sell
believe
in
that's
your
right.
state.
Michigan's 151 proof, and I think you can get the real deal Everclear in Indiana. Excuse me.
I thought
That's
we
like
used to
the
get it in Chicago when we brought it
Oh my
back.
God.
But I
You
can't remember.
can't get it in Ohio, but you can get it in Kentucky. I know
So the
that.
151 is a limit,
Did
right?
Bacardi
Yeah.
get that changed?
No, well, Bacardi is the 151.
Right.
here.
Right,
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
I remember my sister getting me a bottle of that when I was in high school. Sorry, Mom, if you're listening, but
Well, no, it was always fun for like blowing
Jig is
fire
up.
and stuff.
Yeah.
At the pool parties.
Well,
Yeah,
it had
that was
the
thing.
fire cap on it too.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So can this be distributed everywhere? Well, let's talk about that. So where can we, like, you're in Michigan now, right?
Right.
Yeah, yep.
You're in Ohio. Are you Great Lakes, or are you going? There's like different strategies. They're like,
Oh,
we're
yeah,
gonna
how
go
far are we
local
going?
out, or we're gonna go coasts in.
So-
We're gonna go to Vegas so people can come home and ask for it. What's the kind of strategy here?
So we are. I don't want this to sound like we're not ambitious. We are. Like, we want to grow, but we're in Ohio, where we are pushing our products. It's Ohio, Michigan, Georgia, and Illinois. And
How did Georgia fall into that neighboring state?
So
list
here's
there?
the thing. So
That's great.
We got lined up with this distributor in Georgia a long time ago. They reached out to us, and
Nice.
we just hit it off with them. And it was one of those things. It was people we like doing business with.
He wanted some unique products,
Right.
And he found you.
And I'll tell
That's
you what,
great.
if you haven't been down to Atlanta, it's a great city. I love
There's a full
Detroit.
row house there.
There's this place right off
that
of
one,
Peachtree.
Yeah.
I'm kidding. Yeah, it's like there's.
I've been there. I've been there. I've
There's
been there.
literally like about 150 streets called Peachtree.
Yeah, that's totally true.
And,
Yeah.
just that place off of Peachtree.
Yeah.
I sound like
It's
a
a
native.
great restaurant.
All right there.
So you're doing the organic, like, let's just go as we can go, and
Well-
when they come to us, they're going to come to us because our product is outstanding.
Well, a little bit, but we've, every state has their own liquor law.
Right,
And so
right.
you don't think about it. It's really hard. Like, when you go to a new state, it costs a lot of money. Like, you have to find a distributor. You have to invest in that state. And so our thing is, we're still pretty small. And so we're saying, like, hey, here's the states we're going to. This is what we're doing. Like, let's put pause on expanding to other states, and let's go. I mean, it's not like you walk into places in Detroit and see us all over. So there's a lot of work to be done here, and we want to.
No, you have to build a brand.
Yeah,
and I
we
was
wanna-
just wondering what your
Yeah.
strategy was. Like,
Yeah.
like I said, I
And that's your
previously
job.
knew some
That
vodka
is my
guys,
job.
and their funders said, "Well, we're out," because they wanted them to go New York, L.A., Miami, Vegas.
it's hard.
and
Yeah.
think
It's
that,
too
and
tough.
just do those
Right,
cities,
right.
and think that people are going to come back to wherever they were from around the country and say, "I suddenly want X product
Yeah.
at their local liquor store."
Yeah.
I think you're better off to
Get
take.
it?
Yeah.
But
I think you're
don't
better
know
off.
if it works.
Yeah, I
I
think
mean,
if you have a
in this
ton.
case, it didn't, but maybe
if you
it
have
did
a
for
ton,
Tito's.
if you
I
have
don't
a ton
know,
of money, you can do that. But if you're like us, you got to figure out the St. Louis's, the Nashvilles of the world, and like really kind of do it the hard way and grind out. And
in a rather hot bourbon rye
Right.
market right now.
And so our approach was like, hey, Detroit's a fun city. Let's go talk. in Detroit.
Aw, thanks.
So satisfying.
I love the pop. I love
The
the
pop sound?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway, a little behind the scenes.
Yeah.
How we're doing it.
Yeah.
It's I would. God,
But
there's so much to talk
fascinating,
about.
and
There's
that's
like
the story behind this stuff. That's what people like. That's why we're here.
so, and there's so many things. There's so many facets that go into it. The bottle, the shape of the bottle, the label, the artwork, the coloring. And getting it all approved federally.
Oh yeah.
Was this your first
Oh
bottle
my God!
choice?
In the last 2 years.
Because I've seen
Bottle
bottles.
shape?
Yeah, bottle shape. 'Cause
Yeah,
I've seen
they-
them get rejected. I saw a company get sued once.
Oh really?
Oh.
Yeah. Oh
Yep.
yeah. I've seen
That's
that
happened.
too. Like
yeah, they
it
get
looks
sued
too much like
well,
somebody
because
else's
they
bottle.
sent it to they sent it
Yeah.
to the same guy. Like, oh, we only did this little arch different,
Yeah.
But whatever.
so your bottle. I like the bottles.
Yeah.
These new labels are awesome. I love the look of these.
I just tried to open an already open bottle, so it might be time for my next Vernon.
I think it's time for Vernon. All right, we haven't gone here yet, right?
Thanks. No, this is
No,
this is
this
first.
is the.
I just.
This is the heavy-
You guys
heavy
chit
hitter,
chat.
right?
I'll start cracking this open. But no, I do love the bottles of a trapezoid sort of shape, tapered, and then you have a tall one, a skinny one. And I see it repeats between the apple brandy and the Guild gin, and then the other bottles are the shorter, squattier ones. Oh, the mix is a taller one.
Well, that one stands out,
Yeah,
You gotta
and
look different on the shelf.
looking on the shelf, because we talked to, it's like our friends at Zim's Vodka. They were all of it. And it's like vodka. It's like, why are all vodka so bloody tall? And it's like, well,
Right.
so they'd be on the back shelf and people would
People
see
can
them, right?
Yeah, they can see them.
So the bottle shape and size really does make a difference.
It does, yeah.
It does. It does add to the marketing and and everything.
Right. Yeah, because sometimes if you walk into a liquor store, our biggest billboard is just the label, And if we get too wide, that's great. But
Yeah.
that's all you got.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. So you got 3 wide up here at the Wine Garden.
Love it. Yeah.
Like
Wine
I
Garden.
said,
these guys
there's
are,
three-
these
three
guys are
across here
amazing.
at the
There's
Wine Garden.
limited
Bourbons.
shelf space for all this stuff.
In a party in a party store. We're in the Midwest, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
party
Oh,
store.
right. Party stores.
For the people outside of the Midwest, it's convenience stores.
or a bodega.
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
a New York thing, but
Right,
they're
right.
liquor stores now. I
Yeah.
think, you know,
Yeah.
because they've
But,
kind of graduated across the spectrum.
Yeah, if you're looking for it, I got to talk about getting it online too. But God, it's like there's so many facets to getting it done. The labeling is really plain, straightforward, right? It's simple. Let's call it. It's simple and straightforward.
And you know why? You know why it's like.
And I like
this?
the little logo too, though.
Thanks. When we started, we thought, all right, we don't have a big budget.
Sure.
And I told our designer, I said, look, when I walk into a bar, I want to be able to look at the back bar and see our stuff.
Right.
And I want to be able to like see it. And so you look at the vodka, it's blue. We don't have the vodka here, I guess, but you look at the gin, it's this bright yellow. The bourbon is red.
Yeah.
And so it says in big letters what it is, and so you can walk in and you can see it. If it's a dark bar, it jumps out.
Yeah.
I was like, people have to be able to see this.
Yeah.
So-
It's our friends from Zim, so that was their thing. But everybody's on the tall bottle thing now, so it's like that's kind of run its course. But what do you do? What do you do to
want to be Galliano?
to
that
get
one
your
tall bottle
Oh
on,
my
your,
God,
on your grandparents' bar in the basement that's been there forever?
I heard Harvey
blue and-
Wallbangers are coming back though.
Oh my God, they're so awful.
They're so
I
good.
did one a couple months ago. I'm like, you got a bottle of Galliano. I tried to start an Instagram page of bottles of Galliano that have never been opened, and just like going to bars around town and taking
Nice.
pictures.
That's
of it.
funny.
But it's so bad.
That's
So
fantastic.
we make a riff on it called the Harvey Headbanger at a bar that uses our gin with a little Galano. So
Nice.
So I don't.
Gotta pull it in, man. Help them get rid of that.
This hasn't come up yet, but I want to ask. I mean, we're sitting on a wall of bourbons here,
Yeah.
right?
Mm-hmm.
All this stuff, all these different price points. Where are you guys at? Where's we haven't
Price
talked
point
about
wise?
the price point.
Yeah,
wise,
okay.
right?
Yeah, that's,
Yeah,
it's good.
I did want to get to that. Yeah.
So our everyday bourbon is, in Michigan, what's
$39.99.
Okay, yeah,
state
I'll-
minimum. So we're right in the wheelhouse for that. And then the bottle and bond moves up to $49.99.
Okay.
So we're dancing with everybody in the market.
So these
And really,
bourbons
for
are
a
here?
bottled and bond,
These bourbons are here
at that price point.
definitely. And Tony actually has
Sorry to interrupt
2
you.
bottles left of the apple brandy finished bourbon, clocking in at 123 proof.
Wow. Chicka wow wow.
Hopefully it's not a bucket
That's
proof.
a 6-year.
Yeah, okay.
That's the black label.
Y'all head on down to the wine
Is that back
garden.
there now? I don't know.
It is
6 year. Okay.
So
Yeah.
is the gin here yet?
Oh, the gin's not here with Tony, but this is actually our best-selling spirit in the on-premise world of Michigan.
Okay.
So
I just meant in the state.
yeah,
it's in the
definitely,
state,
yeah.
So is there restaurants in particular that you would look for the
where should we
Watershed
go?
gin? Or?
The Charlevoix, actually downtown.
That's not downtown. Watch your
or
mouth.
downtown.
Watch your mouth. That's Grosse Point.
Downtown Grosse
Hey
Point.
there,
Sorry,
Ohio
I don't know how you want
boy.
me to describe that, but yeah. I'm from Grosse Point. I should know better.
I'm aware of the Charlevoix, dude. Come on. I was a Hamtramck bartender.
Yeah.
Don't bullshit me.
Yeah.
There's a number
Grey
of places.
Ghost has us.
Takoi.
nice.
Yeah,
We're on
Takoi,
the-
we're going
Takoi.
there. Yeah. There's a bunch of them. So
Bad Luck Bar. Those guys have
Yeah,
have
that's a
cocktail.
great. That's a
Yeah,
great craft card.
It's a very cool
cocktail
little
joint.
spot.
Yeah. I mean, you gotta get a reservation just to sit at the bar for like 45 minutes.
Yeah.
and it's worth it.
It's so cool.
It's
Yeah.
worth
Yeah.
it. They're a great scene, and everyone. It's just a wonderful place. I love that place.
Yeah.
Well, I just took a sip of this and blew my head off.
Yeah, I know. I did too, and I started
Sitting here
stumbling on
laughing
words
and
all of a
giggling, and
sudden.
I'm like,
Yeah.
splash, and I'm like, whoa, hey, okay, I forgot I had the big dog in my hand.
yeah, this is the big one. This is the 128. Wow.
Yeah. Did you sip it?
I
Yeah.
did, and I
Yeah, yeah.
did it in the middle of talking.
Right. I
And
did
then
too. I did. I was like,
stumbled, and a little bit of fire came out
I
my
was like,
nose, and I.
zowie.
that's why
No,
I
it's
said the
not.
Charlevoix was downtown. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. The Charlotte was downtown,
No, it's not vicious.
but it wasn't
it's not
tough
it's,
enough for me to not catch that.
Sure, it's not vicious, but it is potent. There's a kick. There's a kick in there.
No, it's not vicious. You're right. It's not vicious. it is exactly what it's supposed to be.
Right.
It's not enough to remind you that it's
what it's signed up to be.
Barrel proof. Because and that's the thing. It's like, I get down here in Tony's Magic Bunker, and it's like, it's barrel proof this and barrel, all these store picks and barrel picks that have from years gone by, and it's just fabulous things. And we tried a couple before we did the show, and this is the it's right in the pocket for a.
It lets you water it down to the level that you like it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, well, that's the thing because what's the best way to drink a bourbon?
This is going to sound so.
It's a loaded question.
Yeah, it's going to sound so cheesy. It's going to sound so cheesy.
No.
But it's got to be the way you like it.
Perfect.
And so, I'm not judging anybody how they come in.
Answer.
So that is the answer of people who make it and people who sell it.
Right.
But the people in the freaking chat rooms are like,
right. They want to tell you how.
And and it's like, but that and that's our message. One, we want to learn, and
right?
Because Matt and
I'm not Matt, but yes. That is 128 proof. I'm a little bit taller.
Now you're Matt. Love it.
Now you're Matt.
Yeah.
I wouldn't.
But no, I mean, Matt and I started the podcast.
Sorry, you don't because I meet Matt Fox. He's wonderful.
Yeah. And so August. But what we want to learn on the thing, because we're not aficionados. We're not super deep. We've been learning for 3 years about it, and because the precipice is like I was having a bourbon. I'm like, I want to know more about this. Damn it.
Yeah.
And so that's our journey, is because I don't know. And so I turn to professionals who sell it and who make it and who dream about it to tell me the right things to do. And the people who sell it and make it and dream about it say, do it what's best for you.
Yeah.
And then you get people in chat rooms going, right.
Everybody wants to be the tough guy taking down the 130 proof.
No, and
there's no point in doing that.
I have a personal preference.
It as much.
I will like to try those every once in a while. Yep, that hurts, right?
Sure.
Oh, not that I need more hair on my chest because I'm a damn Sasquatch.
Some people are water people. Some people are like a ton of rocks, and they want that first hit to be hot, and then they want it to mellow out and water down as it goes, as they're watching, whatever Netflix show they're watching. It melts out. I personally love a diet ginger ale. Because it's lighter, it's not heavier in flavor, and it's just, I think that's the perfect for a high octane. For 100 proof, that's my jam. And sometimes if I have it, I'll squirt a little bit of that lime juice in there. That little Kentucky Mule, but not all the calories.
Well, it's a Michigan Mule because you're a Verner's guy, right?
I'm a Verner's guy. Diet Verner's. I've been eyeballing that Diet Verner's if I'm going to get it right now.
But that's the thing. It's just like I said, I teach high school, and it can't. Every Wednesday can't be movie night at movie day at school because I did the podcast. It's like, hey, Mr. Flanagan, we watch movies on Wednesdays a lot. Yeah, shut up, kids. But keep it down. So I'll do like a pour, and I'll do it over ice just so I have one. While we're watching TV or whatever and hanging out, and it's just. Because I can't do 2 or 3 because I got to work in the morning. So it's just and people are like, oh, don't water it down. It's like, but a lot of times actually the water opens it up and changes it.
Absolutely,
especially with the really hot ones.
But those are the sellers, right? Because people want the numbers, and that's fine.
I mean, bang for your buck.
And then you find it's like,
there you go. You're right.
1 cube, 2 cube, 3 cubes. What works for me with this bourbon? You play with it. That's a fun part of it too.
I have not taught my father much. He's taught me a ton, but one thing I taught him is, put that high-end whiskey in Verner's, Dad. You're over 70. You don't need to drink shots anymore. Kids. There's still a little flavor there. I'm like, yes, Dad. Yes.
We got one more to go. One of my favorite things to do getting home, I love mixing myself either a Manhattan or an old-fashioned, and then, Colleen goes, make me some damn dinner. And I've been working all day. And she's like, I don't care.
Working.
Make me some damn dinner. No, I get away with saying this stuff because she never ever listens.
She's not listening?
She won't listen. Right. No, she won't.
Unfortunately, Michelle's listening right now.
I know.
That's why I mentioned how hot my girlfriend was earlier.
Yes. Did I mention how hot your girlfriend was?
Yes, you did earlier.
All right, fair play.
Weird.
All right. But no, it's funny. She won't.
She has a podcast too. So
nice.
But, Trash Pandas. She is a Trash Panda. Congratulations. Actually,
they watch 90-year-old or 90 Day Fiance and then trash it on a podcast.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
And
And
is it?
people
Are they
eat it
focused?
up.
Are they focused on the 90 day? Is that their deal?
I don't know. It's not.
Or is it just all
cross promotion
reality
here from the families? But
Is it all reality horse poop TV?
that is the focus is the 90 Day Fiance
90
show.
I
All
didn't
right.
even know it was a show.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
And right now there's
Yeah.
like a couple people from Michigan in it. It's even worse.
Oh,
man.
Oh boy.
From Frasier and you're.
Oh, really?
Yeah. You
They're
teach
probably
their
my
kids.
damn kids.
You
Yeah.
teach their kids.
I gotta look it
Jamie.
up. So I
Michelle,
just
text me right now the name of that guy.
Colleen.
So I can,
Colleen loves
the kids
those
go to Frasier
shows.
High School.
And
That's awesome.
it's like, and she's our son Colin living upstairs. He's like, and I'll be sitting in the kitchen watching TV. Colleen's in the living room, and he's like, "Why don't you in the living room?" Because she watches crap.
Can't do it. Can't do it.
And I can say things like that because
Right.
she will not listen. So I get away with whatever.
Can't do it.
But
that is another
love her
podcast.
deal.
It's in our family. You know, if you like your reality garbage TV.
oh my god,
Very cool.
Oh yeah, it makes
But,
me
all right.
crazy.
Well, that's
but
what
they
the
love
high
it.
proof whiskey is actually for.
Right.
Oh,
right.
oh,
Get you through that.
So
Get you through
I
that.
sit there. I play like fantasy golf on my phone, and she watches the 90 Day Fiance. And we got one more to do, right? One more bottle. I think
two.
we got two more bottles.
Two more.
Oh, wow.
Holy
You wanna
crap!
go
Because I
all
know
the
we
way
got the
into
old
apple
fashioned.
brandy.
We haven't tried the apple brandy.
Oh yeah.
Do we want to try the apple brandy before we do the old fashioned? Because like I said, I love doing a cocktail.
That's Ben Rathbaum. His kids go to Frasier High School.
Shut the front door. I think I failed this kid this semester. No, I'm kidding. I just, they failed themselves.
Yeah.
I did not. No.
And thank you for listening,
I don't
sweetie.
think I have.
Yeah.
I don't think I have the R bombs in there. So anyway, but apple brandy. This is a little lighter, right? This
Yeah,
is 40.
yeah.
Is that lighter than that at 40%?
This one's the lightest.
That's the
on
lightest?
table. Yeah.
Aren't you supposed- all right. Do you want to try the apple brandy?
I'm going to skip the apple brandy, go right to the
right,
old fashioned
okay.
myself. I've had lots of brandies.
You're a fine girl.
Well,
What
That
a
one's
good
a-
wife you would be.
Having bartended in Hamtramck for 15 years, it was an
Yeah.
old Polish enclave.
Oy, oy, oy,
we
oy,
go
oy.
through a Polish brandy called Jeźdźnówka.
Yezhnivka.
We call it Yeji for short.
Oy,
And
oy.
I actually
That's
have
rough.
my
It's a
burgundy
beautiful
colored
thing.
Bronco outside has the Michigan license plate Yeji.
That's my buddy's favorite. He loves the Yeji.
All right.
Here we go. This is our bottled old fashioned. This one was. I always get a kick out of when we make the old fashioned. We make a 3,000-gallon old fashioned at one time. I feel like it's the biggest old
I just felt
fashioned
it
on
move.
record. Yeah. We got to call Guinness or something.
Probably should.
Yeah,
You got the three.
probably
yeah.
You got the three witches there.
No, we shake it.
Boil. Oh, you shake
Now,
it.
not to get all your trade secrets, but how is this working out? Bottling the full cocktail. We've seen them in cans,
Yes.
right?
Right.
That's kind of the hot
RTDs.
thing right now. Getting
Yeah.
these little cans with
We've
a bunch
been
of
doing-
like mules and stuff.
We've been doing this for a long time, and so
Really?
before the bottled cocktail movement really caught, we were doing this probably since 2014 or 15, somewhere right in there, and it really has taken off. And it sits in the bourbon aisle, and people love it. And you think about like you're going to a party. Instead of taking a bottle of wine, you could take this,
Right.
and it's ready to go. You don't have
Oh,
to
I
take.
really want some ice cubes right now.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
how I want it.
This with an ice
Yeah.
cube and just like
It's perfect.
an orange peel. Oh, it's so
No,
delicious.
I want that in the peanuts, the peanut glass.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right up
Yeah.
in the rocks glass with a big
rocks glass.
ice ball in it.
But
Yeah.
one thing we did, I was so pessimistic about a bottled cocktail because I'm like, nah, they're overly sweet and you can't drink them. And so
They usually
we really went a little more on the bitter side, which
To sell them, normally you have to be super sugary.
right. But we said we're going to avoid that, and really, it turned out. I love how this turned out. This is what I ended up drinking at home because I don't want to mix a cocktail. I'm like, all right, this on
it's
ice.
not super sweet. It's not super orangey.
The nose, I'm not getting sweet on the.
Right.
Yeah,
I'm not
that's-
getting super sweet on the
like
nose.
you don't. It's not over syruped.
Yep.
right.
So all my bartending friends, especially out in Grand
Orange,
Rapids, we
though.
call this the best 3 a.m. old fashioned you've ever had. Because when they go home and they're done mixing drinks,
They don't want to mix.
this is what they're drinking.
Right.
Right.
So
Orange. I'm getting
Convince
the
them to
orange
just
in here.
pour that
Nice.
in the future,
Well,
and then go.
they
tips,
wanna
tips,
light 'em
tips,
on
tips,
fire.
tips,
Yeah,
tips,
yeah,
tips, 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 as they're shaking the thing. Okay.
Yeah. When It's spot on.
What's the fifth of old fashioned going to run us here in Michigan?
About $35.
Oh, not bad.
So if
Yeah.
you break that down, it's about $3 an old fashioned.
Right.
Which
You make very small old fashions, young man.
if you get 10 out of that bottle, it'd be pretty good. It's
Yeah,
4
yeah,
ounces a pop. So and it's rocking a 73 proof, I think.
Yeah.
And then you put a little nip of the barrel,
Oh, you want to gas
A
there?
little bit, yeah.
gas it up a little bit. That's the right way to put it. Right.
No, that's nice. And the thing is, because we have this bartender that we work with, Tara. She's amazing. She's a fantastic mixologist. But the thing is, because I complain about when I make cocktails at home, I never quite get that flavor that when I go to like her or somebody else at like one of those craft cocktail bars. Her trick is the very fresh ingredients, and she goes heavier on the bitters. Because any old fashioned recipe you find, it says 3 dashes. 90% of the time, it's going to say 3 dashes. She's 5 or 6.
Yeah.
Yep.
At least, and it makes a huge difference.
Yeah, and this is heavy. It's exactly right. I feel like people want that initial sip to be sweet, but if you really want to enjoy the whole cocktail, you have to go heavier on the bitters. And then as you drink through it, you're like, oh, this is great. And so that's what we did.
It's that craft cocktail, and this falls out of the pre-made ones. Most of them are a little sweeter. This one falls more into like what I get at a craft cocktail bar.
Yeah. No, I agree. I wish I had some rocks. I think that's the
rocks are. It's
There
good
might
with
be
rocks.
in the
but I
bunker.
knew
There might
right
be
away.
somewhere in the bunker.
This
I
place
don't know.
is very well stocked. I'm sure there's some rocks
right
here.
away.
I'd be surprised if there's not.
That was like what it needed. I'm like, that's
Yeah.
it. And that's
Yeah.
There's some snow outside. We can.
Yeah.
Oh, that'd be
There
bad.
you go.
Yellow snow. We don't want to do
my
that.
microphone just collapsed.
Oh yeah.
So I wasn't happy to see me.
Oh.
It had too much to drink.
Yeah.
It just shrunk right down.
All right. So the Midwest. We got Michigan. We got Ohio, and where else?
Georgia.
Georgia.
in the Midwest.
Georgia
Illinois.
and Illinois.
And Illinois.
So in
and
Chicago.
Yeah,
so
Chicago.
the whole online, the United States is a weird place.
We do sell a little bit in New York, but we're
right.
New York's it's a
It's a
crazy
monster.
place. It's a
Yeah.
crazy
Yeah.
place.
Yeah. So, can you do any online stuff if people are outside of the
Yeah, we
those
do.
states?
There's a few online places out of Michigan that actually sell our stuff, and
Okay.
so like you can get on our website and order if you're outside of those states.
I'd say the old fashioned man, go for it.
Yeah. It is available, and they'll ship it. Now, online's always a little bit tricky.
Right.
They don't ship to all states, but you can get
Yeah.
on there and see. And if you go to our site, we'll and you click on it, we'll link to these other sites that'll ship and see if you can do it.
Or you can
And
travel into Michigan, or, or travel to
local guys,
Ohio.
Woodward's Corners, Holiday Market, they've all got this.
Holiday Market.
Holiday
Okay.
Market's a good. That's a good. Nice work.
Yeah. I like
This guy
the
can
holiday
sell.
market.
Yeah.
I do. All right. So this is very cool. So your website. What's the website?
WatershedDistillery.com.
Okay.
It's easy.
Easy peasy.
Yeah.
My God, gentlemen, this was a riot.
Well, thanks for having us
thanks for
on.
having
It was
us.
a lot of fun.
No, it's good. Good conversation. I'm glad I was here for it. I'm very
Yeah.
fortunate. It's my first time, just like you guys in the
very
whiskey
cool
bunker
spot.
here.
Yeah.
We'll come back anytime.
All right.
Yeah, I hope so.
Yeah.
And I hope you guys go down to Kedger tonight and check that place
Yeah,
out.
that'd be-
You can get
that'd
some
be fun.
muscles.
Yeah.
That is it. All right. So, gentlemen, thanks for being in the Man Cave.
Oh, man. Thanks
Happy
for having
hour.
us. This was great.
Cheers.
A little bit.
Really enjoyed it. Oh,
Okay,
man.
I'll fake it.
Yeah.
But we'll have one
Cheers.
afterwards too. So.